Peter Smith here again. We're down at Broken Chains in Ayr, and I'd just like to introduce you to Charles Kingsman. Charles, would you tell us what you do at Broken Chains?
Well, my name's Charles Kingsman, and I am the spiritual care and support worker at Broken Chains. I kind of oversee the workings of Broken Chains. We work with a lot of broken people, people in addiction, people with mental health problems, people that are basically struggling in life. Yeah. And we feed them, we love them, we show them they're valued from us, but also more than that, valued from God. You know, so we're opening a Tuesday and a Sunday afternoon where we share food and also spiritual support or emotional support or housing support or anything like that.
Now, you weren't doing this a while ago, were you?
No.
What were you doing earlier on in your life?
Well, I went through a lot of trials in my life, you know. My mum loved me, my stepdad loved me, you know, but, you know, I got involved in drugs at an early age. And
how old were you?
Probably about 13, 14. I was in a proof school. There was a lot of abuse in there. Never happened to me sexually, but there certainly was a lot of bad abuse. But
not a good thing.
I don't blame that, but I was already on the wrong path. But certainly had an effect in my life. And then I went into, you know, crime and into, you know, drug addiction. You know, started off with the lesser drugs like, you know, well, you think they're lesser, but cannabis, LSD, and then
worked your way up.
Yeah, worked that ecstasy. I loved ecstasy, and I started selling drugs at the age of around about 19, and I was quite, you know, made a lot of money by doing that.
Lost a lot too.
Oh, they say don't get high on your own supply, but you do. I did all the time, you know. So that took me to dark places, took me to prison, took me hurting my family. Took me hurting the ones round about me that I loved, and other people. I became very violent in that as well, and was in quite a big drug gang in Ayrshire.
But then something happened to you.
Yeah. You know,
someone happened to you.
Yeah. Well, you know, my wee sister, you know, I miss her like mad. You know, she's not here today. You know, my wee boy, I love him, but you know, we're in addiction. You can't be the dad that you're supposed to be. So there was a number of things. My health was failing, my mental health. I had drug-induced psychosis. I'd been in everything by the brownies, trying to get clean. I thank God for 12-step meetings. That's how I got clean. But as I was working that program, which is beautiful, you know, it came from Jesus in the beginning, the 12-step program, you know, for the Oxford group. I was broken, and as I was broken, I cried out to God, and I cocaine just fit. You know, and I knew I wasn't going to a nice place because I'd done a lot of damage to myself and others round about me. I cried out to Jesus, and didn't know it was Jesus at the time. I went to the BBs and I always loved, I thought Jesus was God anyway. But as I was dying, and I was that night, you know, I nearly get my legs amputated because of drug-induced psychosis. I cried out to God, I give you a wish. That's what I said. Because I was sick of that life.
How long ago?
You know? That was 13 years ago. And God heard my prayer, and God touched me, and I went to 12-step meetings, and I got clean totally for every single drug, drink and everything, and I started seeking God. For them it was a higher power, but for me I had to find God. And as I was doing that, I got asked to come to a church one night, and I heard about the prodigal son. The Father loves you, you know, and he doesn't matter what you've done. I remember the BBs when I was wee, singing the songs, Will Your Anchor Hold, and I thought, I'm clean and I'm sober, but I was still selling drugs because I was up to there in the drug game. And I didn't have the courage to tell my gang I was finished because they were quite heavy, you know. I love them, you know, but that night they done a call to come to Jesus, and I went out and I said, come into my heart, Jesus. I was sick here, and I thank God for the 12 steps, but that night something special happened.
How long ago was that?
13 years.
13 years.
13 years. He came into my heart. He forgave me. It was like a weight lifted off myself. The drug-induced psychosis went. You know, the the hatred of others, the criminality went, you know, all that stuff, the drug addiction. I was clean, but I stayed clean. And I even got the power to go to the gang and say, I'm finished. And I came out of everything that wasn't right.
So what happened with the gang when you said you're finished?
They respected
They
me.
respected.
They encouraged me.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it. They said, what are you going to do for money at first?
Yeah.
And I said, the Lord will provide. They didn't understand, but they said, you know, there's something happened in you. I can see it.
Yeah.
And if you do it, maybe one day I'll do it too. So that was encouraging for me that I was going to do that, and I broke free from that lifestyle. And I've been to Africa, you know, I got a beautiful wife, you know, I get all my kids. I've got 4 kids, 2 before this happened, boys that I love very much. My wee mum and everything. It took a long time for her to know that this is real, but she knows now that I love her, you know. And also my other 2 wee kids that I've got to my wife. You know.
So what would you recommend to people who are watching this, who've got problems and difficulties, addictions, or all sorts of things? What would you suggest?
I would suggest it doesn't need to be the way it is. I understand what it is to be a drug addict, you know, and I empathise, I can feel that, you know, but I also understand what it is to be free and have none of that anymore in your life. Be totally free, you know, by the power for me, Jesus Christ. And I believe that that's the answer. I thank God for 12-step fellowships. I've got family, friends who's doing that. But I do know when I really accepted, I couldn't use, but more than that, I accepted the Lord into my heart. He brought a freedom and a happiness and a contentment that keeps me and drives me to help others. That's how I love my work today. I worked in a town bathroom for 6 years, and it was a school and it was good, but I love to be able to get up. And when I'm seeing people like the boy you just interviewed, Sean, and others get well,
it's beautiful.
That's enough for me. If I didn't get a wage, I'd still be happy. But I need to feed my family, but God provides.
You can't beat that sort of work,
No, you can't.
Awesome.
And it's sweet and it's bitter because we see people die and our hearts go with them, and families and take the funerals, but it's also great to see a wee mother get her Wayne back, you know. You can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. God bless.